Here at the UN, everyone remembers that 2006 speech where the day after George W. Bush spoke, he smelt sulfur on the podium of the General Assembly and said the devil was here. That, of course, was the height of the Iraq War, Afghanistan, and he basically set his stall into the international community and in the US, against the US as basically an advocate for the world's poor, against neoliberalism, economic policies, and a uniter, if you like, of South America, despite political differences, against the colossus, the empire, as he called it, of the United States. He was, sometimes contradictory, but he really used the oil wealth of Venezuela to project a foreign policy that actually was a thorn in the side of the US. Cuba's government regime may have collapsed in the early part of the 21st century had it not been for the injection of Venezuelan support and oil money, and Washington knows that to this day.
I mean, we were having a chat before we went on air, Nathan. Venezuela, perhaps you were saying, has punched its weight really above its international standing because of its counterbalance, if you like, with US foreign policy. Will its standing ever be the same, do you think?
I think that's a really good point. I think that basically, Chavez's personality as well as his politics really hit on the international scene. Friend or foe, he was really interesting to listen to. And also, even though he had the bravado and the machismo in front of the cameras, behind the scenes, he was very quick trying to galvanize opinion and move things forward in his way. He was instrumental, and he dealt with Washington on this, in getting debt relief for a lot of South American countries, including Haiti and the Caribbean as well. He really realized that if he used his force of personality and the Bolivarian sort of ideology in the international arena, he would galvanize opinion. The UN is often run by the permanent 5 members of the Security Council, but he really did try and use the G77, the 132 nations that make up the majority of the General Assembly, to sort of advocate for post-colonial policies, the poor, and, of course, indigenous rights, and very much making alliances across cultural boundaries. You think of Iran, you think of Libya, you think of Syria. Remember, he offered Assad's asylum before he died.
Nathan, a slightly sneaky question. Is it too much to say, do you think, that the US will be quietly pleased that he's gone?
I don't think it's a sneaky question at all. I think they're celebrating in Washington. They've had to deal with Chavez for a long time. He has been a thorn in their side. And even if Chavismo continues, it's not going to be on the same personality level. We heard that just now from Caracas. And there's going to be an election in 30 days. And it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. And I think Washington realizes they've been really caught out in terms of the oil boom. Because remember, when Chavez came in, oil was around $17 a barrel. It's now around 100. And China has really invested in that country, so have many others, and they've lost out. They really need to get back in with Caracas, and I think they'll see this as an opportunity.